All right, and then our good friend Fabian Quintero from TGIC Imports. Thank God it's Chilean with some wines from California. Hey, you know what? That word name works. Whether you're selling Chilean wine or thank God it's California wine. Well, the president of this company decided he wanted to, make some wines from California. So Garachi, the name of the label, and just going to try to use some of the best fruit from different areas in Napa, and I guess Sonoma Mountain Chardonnay looked the best to him. Well, his consultant is good friend Paul Hobbs, so Paul, I guess, is advising him on where to get the fruit for these wines, in addition to helping him make the wines. But really nice little wine, 2,000 case production, some ripe tropical fruit, a little bit of buttered toast nuance to the bouquet, big and fruity on the palate. These Sonoma Mountain wines have got great concentration and a good hand of oaky spice, but still nice freshness, really nice balance, and nice minerality showing. Maybe just a bit of heat showing up on the finish. Hey, they like their wine big and rich in California, so you're going to get a little alcohol, folks. Don't be afraid of that. Drink a lot of water. Stay hydrated. All right, next up we have the Pascual Toso Malbec, and this is the best value for Malbec. I mean, has been how many years running. Paul Hobbs, of course, helping out with this wine, and fruit coming from 10 to 30-year-old vines here. A little oak, but the fruit from the Barrancas region is where this vineyard is from. Mendoza is a rather large area, and very fruit-forward style. Lovely black plum and black cherry, blackberry fruits, really inviting nose. Some black earth showing there as well, and some dark cocoa. Rich and fruity on the tongue with smooth tannins. Really approachable style, crowd pleaser Malbec there. Notes of dark spice on the finish, really good. And hey, that's one of the things most Malbecs is missing, finish. This wine actually has one, especially for a $10 Malbec. All right, next up, the Santa Ema Merlot. Merlot from Chile? Most of it's Carmenere. It was labeled Merlot because they thought it was Merlot, and it turned out to be Carmenere, but this is actually Merlot from Chile, and this is on the best little wines they brought me, man. Wow, really fresh and fruity bouquet, hints of that green herbaceousness that you get from Chile, some fine herbs, really nice complex bouquet, some lovely plummy, jammy fruit there, a nice touch of toasty oak spice on the palate, with that lovely berry and plum fruit showing up there. Really good length and nice freshness. Really good little, pretty serious Merlot for the money, $14.75. Wow, I don't think we have too many Merlots under that price here because most of them ain't that good. Okay, next up, the Star Angel. I'm sorry, Montes Alpha Cabernet from the Colchagua. And this has been a perennial best buy here for us in the $20 price range for the last 10 years or so that I've owned the store. Really lovely dark currant and cherry fruit. Again, with that slight herbal nuance that really speaks, says it's Chilean to me, and some lovely fresh plowed earth and fine herbs, and a mouthful of that dark plum and currant fruit. Really nice structure and depth, but a long, elegant finish. These wines have got lovely ripe fruit, but still, nice length and nice freshness on the finish. Really nice balance. A touch of Merlot blended into the Cabernet Sauvignon here. Next up, hey, Aurelius Montes said, I've conquered Chile. I need to go to California next. So he's decided, he's got a new label called Montes. This one is Montes Star Angel, and this is his Syrah from Paso Robles. And he's also got the Napa Angel. This is the Paso Robles Angel. And those are the only two we had. He's probably going to come up with a few other angels, I would guess, over time comes on. But the Syrah, one of the stars of this area in California, Paso Robles. This is one of the hottest areas in California. And Syrah here is really plump and ripe, and lovely plum and blackberry fruits. Toasty oak, almost a burnt campfire wood kind of smell to that. Dark cocoa's nuance. Just a couple thousand cases of this produced. That lovely dark plummy cherry fruit showing through on the palate, and with a nice hand of spice and nice freshness coming through with that cocoa showing in the finish as well. Pretty good Syrah there. $44, maybe expecting just a little more. A lot of stuff in that category right now being discounted. So the Napa Angel Cabernet, $50. That's more or less what we expect to pay for Cabernet from Napa. A little more, not quite as much as Syrah from Paso Robles, but a bit of Syrah blended into the Cabernet here. Around 3,000 cases with a bit of funky barnyard kind of note showing there to the red currant, cigar box spice, old leather saddle nuance. Big and chewy on the tongue with lots of sweet fruit. One of the hallmarks of Montes wines from Chile, and round tannins. Still had that old world flair to it though on the finish. Some of that earth showing, and really nice, well-balanced Napa Cabernet. All right, next up, the Garachi Cabernet Sauvignon. And this is sourced from 3 different vineyards, George's the third, a Beckstoffer vineyard being one of them, and a whopping 15.2% alcohol. Hoo-wah! Pretty big stuff. Lots of toasty oak spice, sweet tobacco, bell pepper, fresh earth, currants, cassis. Fairly complex bouquet here. Big and fruity on the tongue again. Sweet tobacco, spice, sweet currants. Really nice for such a high octane juice. Still has pretty good balance. And, you know, this wine needed a little time to open up. I kept it on the counter for like the next 3 hours, and thank God I did, because, man, I moved my score up because it really did open up nicely, and the fruit really started to shine in the wine, and still really nice balance. A most excellent bottle of Napa Valley Cabernet for $72. Next up, the star of the portfolio from Mendoza, Achaval Ferrer, the Finca Bellavista. From Pedregal, Mendoza. This is a vineyard surrounding the winery, and it wasn't produced in 04, 05, or 06 due to hail. And, you know, when it is produced, usually it is something special like this 2008. A very intense bouquet, dark plums, blackberry, dark fruit, spices, dark earth, balsamic, pretty floral nuance, violets. Very complex bouquet, as I mentioned before. This is from 100-year-old ungrafted vines. A big and chewy wine with wonderful freshness still and a long finish, echoing that spice through the finish on the nose. That's one of the things you don't get from most Malbecs, is a long, complex finish, and this wine did have it, man. One of the best Malbecs I've ever had. Most excellent stuff from Achaval Ferrer. At $117, it should knock your socks off. Great stuff from Fabian. Next up, our good friend Harley from Unfined and Unfiltered.